and of rebuke and blaspheming. For the children are come to the birth, and there is not strength to bring forth.
Hold it. And he said, now, I want to make sure that when you go down there and tell the prophet, I want you to tell him what kind of day this is. I want you to tell him right where I am. I want you to tell him what's going on. And then I want you to tell him what I need for him to do for the people of God. I need him to go to God. And I need him to ask some things and turn some things around. See, that's unlike the church. We try to cover stuff up so people won't think that we ain't anointed. We try to cover stuff up. Oh, I'm all right. I'll be okay. And you know what? Let me tell you something. I hope you don't do that stuff with me, because I tell you to be tough with somebody else, because the Holy Ghost is real. And if God sent me to ask you, I know something wrong in the spirit. I tell them go lie to somebody else, but don't try to lie to me. You can be tough with somebody else. But I see King Hezekiah said, I ain't got no shame in my game. He said, I need something done. And when you take this message, I don't need you to make it cute. I need you to let the prophet know that I'm in desperation, that I need an answer from God. Do anybody in the house need an answer from God tonight? How many of y'all got something on the altar and you need for God to do it right now? He said, you tell them exactly what's going on. Y'all know how we say, well, I can't tell nobody that because that might embarrass me. Well, I tell you what, I'll be embarrassed and blessed. I don't care what nobody else is thinking about it. When it's my time to come to the altar, oh, yeah, I'm coming. When it's my time to cry out to God, oh, yeah, I'm going to cry out. I don't care who I got to move over. As a matter of fact, I asked you, can you bring me an extra napkin? It's about to get ugly in this place because I got something before God, and I can't wait because I need it done now. See, that's for y'all beautiful people that don't never go through nothing. But I ain't talking about y'all. I'm talking about the folks that really need a word from the Lord on tonight. Everybody might not need it, but when God ministered this word to me, he said, you need to get something in prayer that's going to deliver you from the enemy. Come on and read.
And it may be the Lord thy God will hear all the words of Rabshakeh, whom the king of Assyria, his master, had set to reproach the living God.
Hold it. He said, I want you to have God to come against him for reproaching, not me, but I want you to deal with them for a reproach upon the living God. Touch your neighbor and say, it ain't personal. It's all about God. He said, I want you to tell God to get them because of what they came and said that he couldn't do. Not what I can't do. See, I can't do nothing in my flesh, but I serve a God that can do anything. So he said, don't deal with them about me, but deal with them about what they said about my God. Come on and read.
And will reprove the words which the Lord thy God had heard. Wherefore lift up thy prayer for the remnant that are left.
Give God a request from me. Let him know that we are in need of prayer. I lost half the church right there because we'll sit in the chair and we'll act like I don't need no prayer. I got this. And you know you toe up in your spirit, but you won't get out that chair for nothing. You know that you need a breakthrough and you still won't move. You know you need God to restore you, but you still won't say nothing. You won't change nothing. You won't quit doing nothing, and you'll swear that it's everybody else. You can't see nothing in yourself. But Hezekiah said, listen, when you go down there to that prophet, you tell him I said, lift up the remnant of Judah. You lift them up because we got something we need. We're in trouble, is what he said. Now that right there would have hurt a lot of folks because nobody ain't going to say I'm in trouble. Maybe I need to turn around and talk to myself right there because, see, when I get in trouble, I'm just about like David. I know how to get on the altar and I know how to cry out before God. If it was just the smallest thing, see, it ain't the big stuff that get us. It's the small foxes that spoil the vine. You see, it's not going to be, I'm not going out and commit adultery because the devil know he can't catch me right there. See, I'm not going to go out and lie on somebody because, see, I guard my reputation too much. But when the devil start dealing in my mind and my thought process ain't right, then I know to get back in the face of God. I know how to get back in the place so that God can keep on ministering to me. Because you know what? If I get too much junk in there, he ain't going to be able to talk to me. He going to say, you got all the space occupied with something else. But Hezekiah said, can you tell him to pray? Can you tell him to pray? How many of us tell somebody, I can't tell you what's going on, but can you just pray for me? See, I don't have no problem. I don't care the fact that co-pastor is co-pastor, but let me tell you something. You can touch these sisters and brothers in here, and I'll go and say, Deacon Chipman, are you praying for me? I need to make sure somebody is lifting up some timber for me. If you're so wonderful that you don't need nobody to pray for you, I came by to tell you in trouble right now. It don't hurt to ask, are you praying? Keep me lifted up. Because, see, let me tell you something. It said one can put 1,000 to flight, but two can put 10,000. And I need all the covering I can get in the spirit. Come on and read.
So the servant of King Hezekiah came to Isaiah, and Isaiah said unto them, thus shall ye say to your master, thus saith the Lord, be not afraid of the words which thou hast heard, with which the servants of the king Assyria have blasphemed me. Behold, I will send a blast upon him, and he shall hear a rumor, and shall return to his own land. And I will cause him to fall by the sword in his own land.
He said, hold on. The prophet said, listen. When I read that part of the text, the prophet said, don't worry about him. Don't you even worry about what he said. Because, see, he didn't blaspheme against you. He blasphemed against God. When I got to that part of the text, it lets me know that all those folks that come against me and talk about me and misuse me, I ain't worried about you because I'm the representative, the ambassador of God. So what you put your mouth on is not really me. It's really God. Every time you decide that I'm not who I say I am, then you're really talking to God about that. Because he's the one that does the anointing. He's the one that does the appointing. He gives the assignment. He take one up and put another down. So if you're talking about it, you're really talking about what God is doing. Because, see, I can't do nothing in myself. I'm just a vessel. But I need to yield myself. But it's God that's doing the work. Touch your neighbor and say, if you're dissatisfied with God, you need to take it up with him. You need to take it up with God. And so the prophet said, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. He didn't bother you. He bothered God. He said, and let me tell you something. I got to the point and I looked at it and said, you ain't got to worry about him because God getting ready to kill him. The prophet prophesied destruction on the king of Assyria. He said, he is going to die. And he said, not only is he going to die, but I'm going to take him back to his own land to do it. You better be careful what you speak out of your mouth concerning the people of God, the things of God in this hour. Because if you haven't noticed, there's death all around us. And I'm going to share with you the word that the Lord gave me. God told me in Jeremiah the 47th chapter, he said, there is a sword in the land. There is a sword in the land. And when Jeremiah started crying about it, he said, how long is it going to stay out? God, will you put it back in the sheep? And God said him, no, because I got to finish wiping out the coast of them that came against God. And he said, I'm going to kill him. And I'm going to kill him